So the warm-up lap commences. Safety car is leading them round, ready for the first race of the weekend here at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, the Imola track, the former home of the San Marino Grand Prix. And Italy's Gabriele Tarquini is on pole position from his teammate Yvan Muller. They lie first and third in the championship. Augusto Farfus is in the frame as well. There he is. He'll start in sixth position on this rolling getaway. And behind Yvan, Andy Prio and the rest will be trying their resolute best to help their manufacturers, to help their teammates, the people who write the checks. But the pressure really on the first three cars. For Tarquini and Muller, the front row men, they can ill afford a retirement or to get knocked off and knocked down the order as they try and sort out who's going to lead into the first corner. And for Ricard Rydell in third place, charged with the job of not falling over them, but holding everybody else back from behind. I guess actually he could really do with Thiago Monteiro making a good start and getting alongside him to try and make a very wide yellow wall across the track. In the independents category, Stefano D'Aste and Felix Portero were the fastest in qualifying. They line up nose to tail, but points leader Tom Coronel is right behind them. And remember, he's in a dark blue Seat. You can see him weaving through the back of the picture there, rather than his traditional orange and white Dutch colours. So ready for an entertaining time here with 11 laps of Imola, and probably on most of the pit walls here, everything crossed. There is Gabriele Tarquini's engineer, looking as relaxed as it's possible to look before a rolling start of one of these touring car races. And in terms of top speed, well, the Seat Turbo Diesel's pretty much had it, and with the climb out of Tosa and here out of Acqua Minerale as well, that punch that the turbocharged engine gives them away from the slow apex of the corner really is an advantage as well. The BMWs will need all the front straight to be able to really try and catch them, and the Seat is not exactly hanging around in a straight line. So Seat Sport boss Jaime Puig looking relaxed and happy, as perhaps he's got a right to be.
Well, you would be. You're leading the championship. You've got your two fastest men on the front, and yeah, he's looking at a possible race win. So I think he should be quite relaxed.
James Thompson looking pretty happy with himself as well. The Lada in 14th place on the grid, and starting to really show definite signs of progress. But again, you look at the front shot there and you see how much yellow and orange there is, how much yellow and red. You know that Seat again have done a good job in qualifying, and now they will slow right down. Tarquini on the inside here, and that will put him on the inside at Tamburello as well, unless of course he moves position. He'll allow the Lada safety car to move out of the way. It's Philippe Leloup from Orica. Hugues de Chanac not here this weekend, the man whose team runs Yvan Muller and Thiago Monteiro. So slowing right down as they come into Ravazza, ready to take the rolling start. Red lights are on. Gabriele Tarquini on the right hand of the screen gets ready to start the charge. He's going to build up speed gradually. Farfus starting to angle around behind Rob Huff. He's looking for... The lights are staying red a very long while. Now they're going to get on the gas and away they go. It's 3, 4, 5, nearly 6 wide behind. Muller's got to run through the first right-hander, but it comes back left and that'll favour Tarquini. And the Italian is on the inside. Rydell's been chopped, I think, by Huff. And it looks as though the Chevrolet's going to try and go around the outside for third place. He gets turned around, hits Imola. Muller goes off, nearly takes Tarquini, and around goes Rydell, and he gets collected by Genet, and it looks like Monteiro's car is damaged as well. What's the Italian for? What's the Spanish for? Mamma Mia, and Farfus in trouble.
Prius has got a damaged rear suspension as well, so he's out of it.
So it looks like Prio and Farfus both hit. It's Tarquini, Yvan Muller, Huff, Coronel's fourth. And this is an absolute guaranteed safety car. Coronel fourth. From where was he on the grid? 16th? That tells you what went on in the first corner. Well, Nicola Larini's younger brother Andrea was stuck there. There is Coronel ahead of Zanardi, ahead of Thompson in sixth position, Coronel in fourth, and they were from row 8, 9 of the grid. No safety car notification yet. Farfus, broken rear suspension. It can't just be going that slowly because it's crabbing badly, isn't it? It's not just the bumper hanging off. Safety car will come out. That looks like the end of the road for Jörg Müller as well. Farfus's car is wrecked. Both Schnitzer BMWs out on the first corner.
Worst possible first corner for BMW. The two top men, both with damaged cars. Rydell for Seat, but that's not the end of the world for them. They've still got the two front men out the front. It was almost a very different situation because you saw Müller getting tagged by Huff as Huff was punted from behind, and he almost took Tarquini with him, so he got away very lightly out of that. But yeah, it's an ideal situation for those two guys, and you've got Huff there as well in a nice position. Yeah, difficult for BMW from here.
Really tough. Let's have a look again. Now, I think the key here is what happens behind row two. Two Seats out front. Portero miles off the track in the background, but it's Huff trying to pick up third place from Larini. That's Portero going off. He got a bump somewhere way back in the field. Now, Huff is closest to us as he comes around here. Let's watch the darker car of Genet. Now, Huff gets a thump from behind, and it wasn't Genet. Genet gets hit round by Rydell. And it looked as though maybe Thiago Montero, Coronel goes across the gravel, looked maybe as if Montero bumped Huff up into the air in the first place. I don't think it was contact with Rydell that started that off. And there's Coronel, rally crossing across the gravel.
That's exactly why he's ended up in fourth, because he just, while the carnage in the corner was taking place, he just drove straight across, avoided it all. Hopefully for him, he can keep that position.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's no reason why he shouldn't. Let's have a look back now. Oh, this is from Tarquini Müller. That's that 10 years of ice racing experience, just holding on to that. And that all started with Huffy getting bounced up in the air from behind, and I'm certain it wasn't Rydell who was inside him, not behind him. You can see, well, actually Seat lost 3 cars, but they kept the 2 important ones. Oh, Farfus got into the back of, I think, Montero.
Yeah, both the top BMWs with damaged rear suspension.
Yeah.
In fact, the top 3 and Müller as well.
So an awful lot of damage among the first few rows, and just everybody else, all their names in a hat thrown up in the air, and they just landed in some random assorted order. And this is with, I guess, Nick Larini, right up behind Jörg. And oh, Jörg hits Thiago, and no, that's not Nick Larini then. That must be Alain Menu's camera, because that's Larini in front. On board with Andy. Okay, bail out now. Road full of carnage, bail out. That's how it, or is that Zanardi? That's Zanardi, yes, because that's that was Coronel coming on in front of him, and Alex got by him before they got to the safety car. And there was Farfus's car, Jörg Müller's car, really badly damaged. And that's a major blow for the championship for Augusto Farfus and BMW. A little bit of ribald applause from the Italians in the gallery. But that's not what we needed for the championship. We don't want this to be decided between 2 teammates with nobody else involved. Obviously, it's good for Seat, but it's not a great thing for the championship or for BMW. So let's just recap. We're on lap 2, safety car out after that first corner collision. And any number of replays aren't really going to sort that one out, are they? And Peter, I don't know, you know, when you're in the steward's room, you're just trying to see, well, did somebody deliberately trigger that? My feeling is no. I don't think you deliberately trigger something like that.
It looked like a racing incident. Yeah, Huff was kind of tagged from behind, but side behind, and then the carnage just took place, and you got...
Well, here we go now. Ready for the green flag. Gabriele Tarquini charges to the line. Didn't take long to sort out all that confusion. He leads from teammate Ivan Müller. Rob Huff in third, then Zanardi ahead of Coronel. But Huff latched onto the lead pair. Now, what can Rob Huff do here for Chevrolet? He's got a toe up behind Ivan Müller, and this is really dangerous for Müller and for Tarquini in the long run, because Huff is just interested in winning a race. He doesn't care who's going to win the championship because he's not involved, and nor are his teammates. So he could be even more dangerous for them in terms of where they finish than Augusto Farfus, because Huff has no need to preserve championship points. He just wants to go out and win a race. They've managed to ease away a fraction from him. And Thompson under pressure behind from Stefano D'Aste. That's for 6th position. And Alain Menu there in 8th place. Nick Larini in 10th. And that is Rydell, the remain of Rydell's tyres. His steering completely crackered, so that'll need a lot of rebuilding for race 2. But Tarquini and Muller making the break, and Huff, then Zanardi and Coronel. Everybody else is going to be fighting for position now because they're all so out of place, aren't they?
They are. Zanardi's come up from 13th on the grid. Tommy Coronel up from 17th on the grid. So, you know, they really made the most of that first corner.
Yeah. James Thompson as well, 14th to 6th, using his little bit of rallying experience across the gravel traps. And he's going to need that as well. We saw in Oschersleben, Jaap van Lagen's car that started 4th was quite a handful at the tail towards the closing stages of the race. There is Van Lagen, and he's up in 12th place at the moment. Teammate Thompson 6 cars further up. So the Lard is starting to look all right. Thompson again made the most of what was going on in front of him, and he's obviously not escaped without damage, but let's see what he can do now to hold off Stefano D'Aste.
Crucially, he's a lot lighter than the cars behind, so when they go for an overtaking manoeuvre, it's difficult. It has to be in the braking zone because Thompson should be relatively quick on the straights.
Well, the one thing that the Lada lacks, definitely compared to the other cars, is a little bit of straight line performance, but Jimmy will given him half a sniff of an opportunity. Peter, you know that as a racing driver. You know, if you're stuck in the midfield, it's a little harder to be excited about every single corner than if you're looking at the podium guys right in front of you. So it's just that extra little bit of performance that comes out of the mind rather than out of the car.
Well, yeah, the general feeling is that I've made up all these places at the start and I don't want to lose them. And, you know, at the moment, I think he'd be very happy with it.
Oh, monster blow up. That's got to be Menu. Alain Menu. No, it's not. It's Nick Larini.
Another Chevy.
Flames out of the bonnet. Never seen that before. That was a massive blow up. I thought at first he'd had a lock-up, but no, you're right. It was a huge blow up. He was right in front of Andy Prio, so Prio goes up to 10th. And Larini's car explodes. Flames shooting out of the vents in the bonnet. Well, he didn't take a second look back at that, did he? Got out, slammed the door, crunched away.
That's game over.
Yeah, that must have made the sort of noises that left him in no doubt. Look here, bang! That's like a drag racing engine going. Flames and everything. And that's the view back. And luckily for everybody, it went just as he was about to turn off and turn in rather, and he went straight off, so he's hardly left oil anywhere. But doesn't look like the oil is completely out. Tarquini and Muller leading away by a second now from Rob Huff in 3rd, and Zanardi close to him. And there is Huff. Zanardi coming down the hill now, significantly further ahead of Tom Coronel. So Coronel may have made a mistake. Someone might just be losing out a little bit in performance. And there is James Thompson now. He's been shuffled down the order a couple, hasn't he? Oh no, he's still got Stefano D'Aste behind him. No, I was looking at Van Lagen behind Hernandez and Prio. So Hernandez 9th, Prio 10th, Van Lagen 11th. They've all benefited, got ahead of, of course, they've all picked up a place as Larini's gone off.
The Seat's now at the front, just starting to eke a little bit out on Huff now. I think you can't deny their speed around here.
Good Thompson fights back. D'Aste got inside him. Too much pace, though. He couldn't handle it, and the car was getting wild. And Tomo just came back at him, and here comes Menu in the Chevrolet. And right behind Hernandez and Prio. Yellow flags are waving, so golden opportunity into Villeneuve there. But D'Aste just couldn't hold the pace, could he? Just got away from him, and Tomo somehow found the gap.
He used his experience there and got back through. And now it's D'Aste under pressure.
Yeah, Menu was right behind him. Menu was ready to go by into Villeneuve, and the yellow flags were out, so he couldn't. Black flag for car number 45. That's Andrea Larini in the Seat Prize Drive car, so he's losing ground, and Prio inside Hernandez all over the curbs. Van Lagen's having a sniff. Now, this is really what the Lada team want to see, is their cars in amongst, I mean, guys like Prio and Hernandez and, you know, the real front runners, to get in there and to be nibbling around there to try and get up into the points on pace. And that's a big moral step forward, a big spirit step forward for them to be in that sort of position. And Thompson's still in 6th place. And they'll willingly replace that bumper, whatever it costs, just for the result. And Kirill Ladigan as well, 13th place, just 2 spots behind Jaap van Lagen. Now, they're still a long way out of the points, but they're a long way further forward than they were with the old car. And that's what it's all about when you're developing a new car. Progress, progress. Let's have a look here. Daste jumps the curbs. Ooh, and runs very wide.
It's good for Thompson because it gives him a chance to again sneak away, and then Daste comes under more pressure from Menu, and this is all the much better for Thompson because as he can run the laps away, he's got a better chance of keeping that 6th place.
So Tarquini still being shadowed by Muller, Huff in 3rd, Zanardi 4th, Coronel in 5th, top independent. And he'll get 12 bonus points for finishing in 5th place. They get 3 times the World Championship points they score if they're in the top 8. Somebody's been off there as well. Lots of dust on the exit. Oh, and that's Janae's car back out and off. Or did he ever make it to the pits? No, maybe he didn't. So on board with Andy Prio, right behind Sergio Hernandez. There's not a straight panel on almost any car in the race, is there? It's been a pretty fraught opening laps, or opening few laps. But right now, behind Thompson, it's sort of settled down a little. Saying which, here comes Frank Sengsler up the hill. He's got a run on Jaap van Lagen. In fact, it's Christian Poulsen having a run on Kirill Ladigin in the other car, as discussions continue on the Chevrolet pit wall. There is Alain Menu.
Zanardi in 4th place has just set the fastest lap of the race as well, so I think he could be closing up on Huff now.
Yeah, he really has got the home advantage bit between his teeth firmly, hasn't he? You're right. 157.89, 157.95 for our leader. Tarquini's the slowest man in the top 6. Andy Prio in 10th place, chasing Sergio Hernandez, and they'll all try and work their way up the order. Incidentally, after his depressed state of mind yesterday with that engine blow-up, dropping him from 10th to 20th, who's in 8th place and on pole for race 1 at the moment? Chevrolet's Alain Menu, but he's right in the middle of this queue. He's got Hernandez and Prio behind. He's got Daste and Thompson holding him up in front, but he could end up starting on the front row of race 2's grid. Might even end up with a chance to win a race, and after a blow-up at the end of qualifying, you wouldn't necessarily put a lot of money on that. Further back, there is Tom Boardman's black car, right behind Kirill Ladigin, and Thompson again under pressure from Daste. But it's all the experience of being a multiple touring car champion. He knows where to put the car to stop Daste getting by, and that blocks the Italian. And suddenly he's got Menu all over him again, and Alain desperate to try and pick up a place and get away from those BMWs.
Yeah, for Thompson, the important thing is just to not make any mistakes. Guard the inside of the track when Daste is trying to pass like that, and then let Daste come under more pressure from the cars behind.
And that's exactly how it's working. Prio is pushing Hernandez, Hernandez is pushing Menu, Menu is pushing Daste, and Daste's overdriving the car, desperately trying to pick up a place on Thompson and get away from all the rivals that are stuck behind him. And in terms of Daste's position, actually, he really wants to hold on in the top 8 as well because of those bonus points. If he's 8th, of course, he gets 3 bonus points because that's 3 times the single point for 8th. And as every position you go further up, it's worth more and more championship points for you in the independence class. And with Coronel leading, he really needs to score as much as he can here and limit the damage. Thompson again, neat and tidy through that upper chicane, the Variante Alta. As you can see, there are some drivers taking a lot of curbs. Mehdi Banani there in that Moroccan car, lot of curb there. And he is in 5th position in the independence class, ahead of Franz Sengsler, Andrea Larini and Fabio Fabiani. Car 45, Andrea Larini, has been black flagged a number of laps ago and has refused to come in yet. So his team manager is now being summoned, and Andrea Larini is probably in danger of being banned from the rest of the race weekend, I would have thought. They don't tend to, when they want you to come into the pits with a black flag, they don't tend to take a very good view of it if you ignore them entirely, do they?
Not at all, yeah, and from his point of view, he should probably be looking at the pit board a bit more, and his, oh, there you go, Daste around outside, is he going to run wide?
Yes! Oh, in trouble for Menu!
And round he goes.
Yes, well, Daste over-attacked and then over-defended. Menu's, oh my goodness me, Jaap van Lagen on the gravel went around the outside of Alain Menu.
Both the BMWs came through as well there, so great result for them. Prio up a couple of places.
Yeah, Daste just trying too hard, blocks Menu, contact there, Daste gets spun off, Menu gets held up.
Yeah, Menu 3 places again there.
So, Brio, yes, yeah,
Brio.
Hernandez is slow on the throttle, Menu gets held up, Das stays off. Yeah, so Andy, you know, you see the opportunity, don't you? And you have to take it in a heartbeat, and he reacted quickly, saw the outside lane there, around the outside, he knew it was going to be clear. Yeah.
Great move.
So Tarquini still leads, Ivan Muller still second, Rob Huff still third, ahead of Zanardi and Coronel. Thompson in sixth. He's the red car at the, not at the front of this queue. The red car at the front of this queue is Van Lagen, ahead of Christian Poulsen. There is Thompson. Now he has got, Hernandez got back in front of Priaulx on the exit there, didn't he? So Thompson
obviously no orders there. It's just a case of let the two cars fight.
Free for all, and any BMW that gets in the points scores the same number for the manufacturer, so it doesn't matter whether it's Andy Priaulx, a triple world champion, or a brand new driver to the championship, the manufacturer still scores the points. And there's Van Lagen under pressure. Menu goes through on the inside of Ravazza 1 to 2. Van Lagen gets the door shut firmly in front of Christian Poulsen and comes back at the Chevrolet. Now
this will be interesting straight line speed, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say, those cars using near identical engines. It's the same basic GM engine. The difference is one is built by RML in the blue car and the other one isn't in the red car. Van Lagen's not giving as much away as they thought they were going to. Look at that. Hardly anything on that 1 kilometre straight. There's not even a car length's advantage for the Chevrolet. Wow.
60 kilo difference in weight though.
Okay, yes, absolutely. Oh, and Van Lagen tagged off by Poulsen.
Big shot.
Into a big roll, and that was absolutely unnecessary, Christian Poulsen, I'm afraid. Boardman goes through, so does Portero. Poulsen pays the penalties, fired off by teammate Franz Engstler, as Engstler tries to get tucked in into Villeneuve. Well, now Van Lagen's online. Poulsen dives to the inside. And Van Lagen still alongside him. He's over the curbs, almost all four wheels on the inside to try and avoid the accident. Can't hold the car, drifts offline. He's safely out.
That's a racing incident, really. I don't think he was so heavily to blame for that.
No, it wasn't deliberate, I'm sure. Safety car is going to come out then to allow the tractor to recover Van Lagen's car, or at least tip it the right way up. And Augusto Farfus's BMW having some repair work. Well, as soon as you get sideways in a gravel trap, well, it wasn't there actually, because it rolled off the tyre wall, but often the wheels dig in, don't they, and start you rolling. And then through Villeneuve, Poulsen offline, teammate inside him, and he goes off as well. Christian Poulsen out of action down the pit road, or ready to leave the pit road comes the repaired Jörg Muller. Safety car stays out with 3 laps to go, 2 at the end of this, and Jörg Muller will come out not to try and pass anybody, but to try and make sure his repaired car is going in the right direction and pointing in the right direction. Teammate Augusto Farfus will have to try and do that as well. Now he has to wait for the safety car queue to go by, Jörg, but Augusto's in the car as well. Even 1 lap now will give him a chance to get a feel for the car and see whether everything is as set up as right as it can be. Tarquini, Muller, Huff and Zanardi, your top 4. Coronel there in 5th. And now suddenly for Tarquini and Muller, Peter, the pressure right back on. They're going to be right by each other, nose to tail at a restart. Tarquini's got to defend against Muller. They've both got to make sure Huff doesn't get inside and trigger something that takes them off. That's
it. I mean, they were just cruising. We weren't even watching them on camera, so obviously nothing was happening. They were just driving away, no problems. And all of a sudden, they've got 2 laps left now, and it's a case of restart. And yeah, let's see what Huffy can do now.
Well, now, Jordi Janet's car is a long way down the order. He's been lapped and he is behind the safety car, so he needs a wave by. Ricard Rydell's got front suspension again. He comes back out. Thiago Montero's car, and there's his engineer Nigel Stroud. Thiago's car clearly is not going to be on track anytime soon. They've got a Formula 2 race between the 2 races, so a good hour in which to repair the car. Going to start at the back of the grid, but at least if he can get the car out there, he's got a chance of doing something. Augusto Farfus really under pressure now. And for BMW, this championship has taken the worst possible turn it could take here. Andrea Larini has finally accepted the inevitable and parked the car. And that's not exactly covered himself with glory. Now, looking at the start, look for the yellow Seat right in the background. as he what's going on in front. I wonder why he got a black flag. Can't particularly see anything that happened there. Again, you know, even with all the onboard cameras, it's really hard to piece this together forensically and see what started it, because we don't have a camera right behind Rob Huff to see exactly whose car bounced him up in the air. And that's really what triggered the whole thing, I think.
It was Tiago Montero, it was him. Yeah, well, it's not like he moved wide, they just met, and then Huffy bounced up in the air, and it started the chain reaction, causing all that damage behind.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was the move you just saw there that took Jaap van Lagen dramatically out of the race for Lada. It's a shame for him, because he was within a couple of good passes of maybe starting from pole in race 2. But James Thompson is still there in 6th position as the cars weave. The end of lap 10 of 12, getting ready perhaps to go green next time round. Gabriele Tarquini completing 10 laps. He's on to lap 11 now, so they may well get 2 laps of green flag racing after this. And Tarquini and Muller first and second. And with Farfus way down the order, it does look as though Augusto Farfus is going to score a double zero this weekend. And he's already had one of those in Brno, courtesy of his first corner accident. He triggered and took, well, off the field out. That's his first double zero, and history tells us that you cannot have more than 1 double zero and still win the championship. So he may be the man to change all that, but the reverse angle doesn't make any better viewing, really, does it? 3 different views of this, and whichever way you look at it, Van Lagen in the wrong place at the wrong time, and just so often you see contact between the 2 cars, and one will immediately just get pivoted right around the nose of the other. Farfus is back out. And another tank tape special. Jaap's car, well, the team will be looking at that. They'll be looking at the monitors and going, okay, right, rear suspension is ripped to pieces as well as everything else. So they'll immediately be starting to plan what they can get ready to try and repair the car between the 2 races.
Hopefully we'll get at least 1 racing lap before they finish this race.
Well, I think the safety car is likely to come in this time. The crane taking the car away looked as though it's probably going to be out of that gravel trap in a minute or 2, and that should give them a time to have 2 more laps. We're on lap 11 of 13 now, so hopefully our race director Eduardo Freitas, who really does not like having safety cars on track, will get it back in as quickly as is safely possible. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see the lights going out on this lap as they head down to Acqua Minerale. When they get up towards the Variante Alta, the lights will probably go out from there. And then the boards and flags will be withdrawn as they go green for 2 racing laps. Looking back from our race and championship leader, Gabriele Tarquini. Still no word on the timing monitors about the safety car coming in. And where's timing set to 2 start? I can't remember, I haven't got it marked on my map. But it's got to be soon that the lights go off if we're going to get 2 laps. We are. 2 more racing laps then. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap. And that's exactly what Tarquini and Muller have been waiting for. So now, Peter, when you're sitting in the car there waiting for the restart, what are you doing? Just nervously retightening the belts and getting yourself sorted and mentally ready to race again instead of cruise?
Nerves don't really come into it. You're just focused on your job, and I think Tarquini's job now is just to try and, you know, bunch everyone up, get on the power as we leave the last corner, and make sure you get a good gap to the guy behind you, because there's always going to be that delay. There we go, off he goes on the power.
Gabriele Tarquini starts the charge to the green flag, and he had bunched everybody right up, and there he gets Rob Huff up behind Ivan Muller, and that's good for Gabriele. It may not be the greatest thing for Seat, but he's going to leave Ivan Muller behind him if he possibly can, because right now Tarquini is thinking about victory, maximum points and the championship, and not about his teammate. And Ivan's got enough steam to leave Rob Huff behind until the braking area, but the big diesel engine at the front of the Seat means he gets on the brakes a fraction earlier than the Chevrolet, and suddenly Huffy's right behind him through Tamburello. He hasn't got enough steam to go down the inside into Villeneuve, though. Behind, Zanardi's clear of Coronel in 4th, and then Thompson in 6th position. He's got Hernandez and Priaulx in 8th. This is for pole in race 2. Andy Priaulx just wide, is in the gravel. Menu moves up to 8th position. Priaulx's going to come back on in 10th, 11th. What a disaster for Priaulx. Tyres have cooled down a little too much. Boardman gets shuffled out of the way by Portero for 10th place. And Andy just couldn't hold the pace there on the exit of Villeneuve. He was just pushing it a little too fast.
Disaster for him there, because he was going to be on the reverse grid up front, and now he's not.
Well, he's now up behind Felix Portero, and he goes by Boardman and Portero in the same corner. Oh, but downhill to Ackerman O'Reilly. He's going to put himself on the outside, and he's staying there as well. He's going to dare Portero to take him out. He uses the runoff air, and he just manages to squeeze in front. But I wonder whether stewards will look at that and say, ooh, actually, you really shouldn't have done that. Whatever, he's still not in the top 8. Menu is 8th, Priaulx is 9th, so he needs something to happen in front of him in the last lap if he's going to get that reverse grid boost. Look, Menu's too far away for him to catch, so something else needs to happen. Tarquini leads, Muller leads Huff, Zanardi ahead of Coronel down the hill. And Priaulx, that mistake on cold tyres, and again, it's not cold tyres there though. Something wrong. Has he got a left front and right front puncture? Car just steered away out into the gravel.
I mean, I think his car's just not quite right, because he did get tagged right at the start of the race, and he had damage on the car. I think he's just not quite right, because as a driver, I don't think you make mistakes like that.
I absolutely agreed. Last lap, and Priaulx has come across the line onto the last lap in 16th. So he has recovered, and if he's got a tyre going soft, then he's not going to let it get in his way. But right in front of that. Oh, Farfus, of course, the lap down there. Stefano D'Aste, and here is Thompson now under pressure for 6th position. He's got Hernandez and Menu behind him. Not sure Alain's going to be pressing too hard. Further back, Benani, Ladigin, Christian Poulsen, and that is... Poulsen is back on. Yes, he is, after that off where he got fired off into the barriers. And he's ahead of Andy Priaulx. And James Thompson in that damaged Lada, 6th position.
Just holding on.
Yeah, and it's hold it down into Aqua Minerale.
Half
and then
a lap to go.
Hold it through Ravazza. I think he might have got enough done here. And the good news for the Lada team is that although there's a Chevrolet behind, it's 2 cars behind, and it's not Nick Larini either. So history not going to strike twice. For Tarquini, though, he's done enough all the way through. Nervous times as his wife bouncing up and down on the balls of her feet, barely able to breathe yet. Imola still very close. Rob Huff in 3rd, not going to threaten them. Zanardi in 4th place, a good race for him. Coronel, top independent, in 5th. Tom Boardman 3rd, and Felix Portero 2nd in the Indies. They're 10th and 9th respectively. But as they come out of the final corner, Gabriele Tarquini will have survived a rolling start and 2 safety cars to lead to the flag from pole position. Victory for him. Muller and Huff complete the podium. Now she breathes again, turning an unsavoury purple while she was holding her breath on the last lap. Then Zanardi, Coronel, Thompson 6th for Lada, Hernandez 7th, Menu in 8th place, pole for race 2. And everybody else streaming across the line in a pack behind Alain Menu, the big bunch of Indies. So Felix Portero was 2nd, Tom Boardman 3rd, Engstler 4th, D'Aste 5th, Benani 6th. Then Kirill Ladigin's Lada was 14th overall, and Andy Priaulx 15th overall, after looking like he might have had a chance for a race 2 pole, and potentially, even around here, a race 2 win in the BMW. And of course, if he had been, he would have been free from any need to hand away victory to Augusto Farfus, because Augusto is going to start race 2 in unofficially 23rd place, Jörg 21st, Ricard 22nd. So, well, a Victor Shapovalov looking very happy indeed. Lada, after the disappointment of Oschersleben, do score their first championship points.